Welcome to AI in Action, Exploring Tomorrow's Tech Today, the podcast where we delve into the groundbreaking world of artificial intelligence. I'm Maurie, and with me is my husband, Jim. With our combined expertise in technology and education, we're here to guide you through the AI revolution. Whether it's the latest news headlines or transformative AI applications in classrooms, healthcare, and beyond, we're here to make sense of it all. Together, let's uncover how AI is reshaping our world from everyday encounters to the future of work. So let's dive in and explore tomorrow's tech today. Hello, and welcome to AI in Action, Exploring Tomorrow's Tech Today. I am Maurie, and I'm here with my husband, Jim, and we are going to spend some time talking about entertainment, artificial intelligence, and entertainment. We all know that something that we've been seeing in the news is the writer's strike and what they're striking against.
At least what we've heard about.
Yes, what we've heard about has a lot to do with artificial intelligence. So, why is it such a hot button issue right now? Well, according to an article that we have read, or that Jim has read, it is basically because of AI taking over when it comes to their likeness, their voice, writing.
I heard that it started with them wanting the extras that were in a movie to sign a contract that says, we're going to scan your likeness in and we get to use it forever. I think it's probably a lot more than that, because I think that the studios would have backed down. As a matter of fact, I think they did back down on that particular one. They tried to claim it actually was only for the duration of that movie that they got to use it.
But according to the article, something that an actor said, or the union actually, the actors union said, was that they wanted to be able to scan the background performers' images and then pay them for a half a day labor, but still be able to use that image or that likeness
for the rest of the
any
movie.
Purpose forever without their consent during the filming of that movie.
Yes, but it was only for the duration of that movie. They couldn't use their likeness for the next movie, which is what originally I heard they said they wanted to do, but then they backed off on that. But even then, like you said, it's kind of a scam.
Yeah, I mean, think about this. Okay.
You're basically going to pay me for half a day's work and then use my likeness for an entire movie.
Right. I'm going to show up on Monday, get my Monday's pay, but hey, guess what?
I'm going to get half my Monday's
I'm going to get half my Monday's pay, and then guess what? I'm also going to be on a green screen somewhere on Thursday, and not get paid for Thursday.
It's going to be in a 2-hour movie, and they could use every single time. I agree. I think if that's what actually happened, which it seems to be, that's kind of ridiculous. I think that is massively taking advantage of people and creative people. And if that's what they're truly I think they're striking for a lot more. I think there's so much they're trying to use AI for in the industry. And, I tend to go for the little guy. And I think they're just CEOs are just trying to make, they say it's all about profitability. Well, if that was true, then why does the CEO get millions and millions, and every time it gets a little more profitable, they get more millions, and all the little guys get nothing? So
let's talk about not the little guys, not the big guys, as in the CEOs, but let's talk about somebody who is an actor. And I'm probably going to be a little unkind, but let's talk about an actor that's a little bit older, that isn't getting as many movie parts, that isn't getting those big box office deals.
I heard that happens to women more than it happens to men too.
Men and women, but
it's women have that.
The two that I'm specifically thinking about: Harrison Ford.
He was in the new Indiana Jones.
Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about the Mark Hamill Mandalorian thing. I didn't. I'd heard about the Indiana Jones where they de-aged him.
Right.
Yeah.
They did the same thing with Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that.
So I am Harrison Ford. I might not be able to command my, I don't know how much I used to get paid, but, $40 million or whatever it is that you get for a big box office hit.
If you're the big box office draw.
But maybe if I let you de-age me, I can command 20 million. Am I going to want to allow AI to de-age me so that I can then be in a movie?
Well,
absolutely.
I mean, you can think about it, because if they're not going to get the part because of their age and they make a bunch of money, I can see the value to that, but I think part of that strike is going to be about being able to put boundaries on it. Yes, you can use it, but you can't use that likeness of me in another movie for any reason without paying me.
Right. Right. Well, Disney has had an AI task force since before the writers' strike.
Yeah, that was another article
Disney
that I
was
found.
prepared a long time ago to start implementing artificial intelligence. This article is specifically about that, how it's had the task force, it's been looking into how to use AI to make the profit of movies bigger and better than ever before. The CEO actually he did a conference in May, or a conference call in May, where he referred to AI as disruptive technology, and but it was going to bring interesting opportunities and substantial benefits
To whom? That's the
to
problem.
Disney,
Yeah, to Disney or
to the top
to
dogs.
Bob Iger or whatever his
Yeah,
name
I mean
is. Yeah, it's going to get he's going to get a bigger golden parachute. I tend to distrust the motivations of people at the top of these food chains. I'm not anti-capitalist. I mean, I think capitalism's great, and I do think if you do a good job, you deserve rewards. I just think it's disproportional, and I think yeah, they're going to figure out how to save money. I mean, it's like they're doing now. They're taking these series and these movies that they've done, and they're shelving them because they get more return for the write off for the losses than they thought they were going to make on the movie. And so
Right.
all those people that were going to not only get the movie, but were going to get residuals. You know, they were going to get
And maybe make a name for
maybe they took a
themselves.
smaller salary because they wanted the residuals off the movie to get a bigger percentage. All of a sudden, these guys just shelved the movie.
And it was their big break.
Yeah. And so I distrust those same people to use these tools for making better movies or for as a, like when we write code, people have talked about, writing code. We talk about writing code with an AI. We use it as a co-pilot. It's a co-writer. It sits there and writes with us. If Disney was focused on, how do we make our animators, more able to do cool things,
Things quicker
things quicker, stuff like that.
and
Or maybe bring
easier.
some of that animation stuff that they've been outsourcing overseas for a long time to save money with these tools. Maybe they could bring some of it back here and
That's a good idea.
make it here in the United States instead of overseas.
Let's talk about the writers, because one of the things that this article specifically talks about is how they were going to be using AI to write movie and television scripts and create a database of actors' likenesses. But the movie and the television scripts, we
Yeah.
have been using AI for a very long time. And I have to admit that I don't like its writing as
Well,
much as I thought I
if
would.
you use it as a co-pilot or a co-writer, it's fine.
That's
But
kind of what I'm saying. I don't think they can ever get rid of the actual person that's writing the movie.
I don't know. It depends on if they can get people to actually accept. Think about it for a minute. If you listen to the audio people, the people that are their audiophiles, the ones who love music, they will tell you that the range and quality of music that used to be better. That because we've gotten so used to listening to music on little, terrible little speakers in our cell phones,
Tinny.
they're tinny. We actually think that's what it's supposed to sound like now. So we've literally been trained that lower quality music is better. So can you do the same thing with AI? You simply just flood the market with half-baked movies, and pretty soon everybody's like, "Oh, okay, that's what the movie's supposed to be like," and so they're just generating them with AI.
What about the movie that came out recently on Netflix called Choose Love? I haven't done it yet. I haven't watched it yet because I'm afraid of pushing the button to have it make the choice of which direction to go.
Uh, I'm assuming you can watch it more than once though, and
Yeah, you
make a
can.
different
And
choice.
I think that they're actually making quite a bit on it or it's become really popular because that's what everybody's doing is they're watching it. They're saying, choose Alex or choose Bob or choose whoever one of the characters is. And then after that takes a turn that way, then they come back and watch it a second time and push the other button to choose the
I
opposite
don't
way.
see what that has to do with AI though. I don't know why they're advertising it with AI because these are not AI generated characters, so they're having to film all these
All of them.
everywhere they have a button you could press, a decision that can be made. They have to film both outcomes. They're not AI generated characters. I don't. At least it didn't look like
No,
it to
no,
me.
no, they're not.
So this just looks like one of those, kind of things they're trying to get on the AI hype train,
Even though it's really just
even though
command and choice kind of
it's
thing,
just you
or
press a button and you
press
make
a
a
button that
choice.
decides a
There was a
path.
video game years ago where you could do that, where you could. Well, all video games can now, but this was more of a sort of a storytelling type video game, and you could choose a different path by clicking a different button. So anyway,
Well, I
it
think
could.
it's part of it's part of the recommendation, or it's making it more personalized.
I agree with that
It's
part.
and that's something that AI is doing for everybody. That is something that AI, they're saying that that's going to make AI is going to make a huge difference when it comes to that. There's an article that is about personalizing recommendations. Now we all know that
They've been doing that a
all
while.
social media gathers information all the time,
Google does too.
and
YouTube. And
you and I, we've mentioned it before. You go into a major retail store, you stand in front of the television section for a long time, you don't purchase the TV, you leave,
suddenly your
and
phone's
all of a
popping up with
sudden you have
ads.
ads about televisions
Absolutely.
because they know where you've been at in their store. They track where your phone is located
Targeted
at GPS. So
advertising.
it's targeted advertising.
Yes.
Well, now they're saying that, artificial intelligence, when it comes to entertainment specifically,
It's going to make it worse
it's
or
going
make it
to
faster.
make it faster to pick. It's going to actually do things with your experiences, and it's going to give you feedback faster. It's going to help you choose your music. You're not going to be doing like thumbs up, thumbs down on your music. It's going to just like
I like
track what
thumbs
you
up.
tend to watch, or I don't do the thumbs up, thumbs down, but I'll skip the song. Like I'll go ahead and press the button to go to the next song. And it's now, because of that analytic, knows that I didn't want to listen to that song.
I really think that YouTube had something going on there where you could skip the commercial. I mean, if you think about it, it was a brilliant idea. If I have to watch 5 seconds of it, but then after that I can skip it or choose to watch it. Think of the value to the advertiser of people that are willing to keep watching it when they have the option not to. I thought
Oh yeah.
all the commercials are going to be like that, but instead, especially the phone company ones, the cell phone ones, it's like a 20-30 second commercial that you have to watch.
So what you're saying is, if I'm an advertiser and the person doesn't skip the ad, then I know I need to go back and target that person a
Well,
couple of more
they're
times.
a great one to target. I
Yeah,
mean,
because they actually
they're
sat there and
telling the
watched it.
advertiser that you
Caught
like
my
it.
attention.
You caught my attention for whatever reason. Either the commercial's funny or they just love the product, but you caught their attention. That is a huge feedback.
Right.
That's why I'm surprised that all the ads aren't like that. But yeah, this article is about how these algorithms, they've been using them for a long time, like you said, but AI learns, these large language models already know a lot, and they're going to learn a lot more and a lot faster to be able to tune it. I read a sci-fi story about that once where your house was that way. Everything in your house was tuned to give you what you want when you wanted. If you needed a chair appeared, so you sat down. If you needed to go to sleep, a bed appeared. But it was enough that they reconfigured the house on the fly. It sort of feels like that, where everything's reconfiguring itself. I actually don't actually like that much. Sometimes I like to go off into left field, and
Yeah.
I like an article that pops up that has nothing to do with what I normally read.
Well, let's think about this when it comes to world news. If I am someone that's on an extreme of a topic, or an extreme,
And
the
it feeds them more
opposite,
of it.
and it just keeps
That's what it
feeding it
does.
and feeding it. And therefore, I think that I'm right, because that's all that I hear. That's all
Yeah.
that I see. It's all that I read.
Yes.
Because your very favorite movie, Tomorrowland,
I do like Tomorrowland.
is a Disney movie. And one of the things that is very
Prominent
in that movie is that they're feeding the wrong wolf.
Yeah, and these these people with these algorithms have gotten in a lot of trouble for that, for feeding the wrong wolf. And this seems like you're going to take it farther down that road, not bring it back from that. So I'm not real positive on this article. I'm concerned about them using it more and more. In some places it makes sense. I love the idea of it proofreading things for me and helping me tune things. But I don't really want it to always. I mean, maybe if they'll throw some randomness in there, but you stereotype people like by where you live. We live in a small town. We live in Texas, so therefore we're a member of a group.
Yes.
But
what was
just
it
because
that
I live here,
the
doesn't.
AI pie, big hair, boots, and barbecue?
Yeah, Texas, the land of big
hair, boots, and barbecue. It said
I don't own any boots.
Whenever I said hello to pie, I pulled it up and I said hello, because I always say hello in case it does take over the world.
Yes,
it's going to know I'm friendly.
Yeah.
So I say hello, and it's like, hello, how are you? Where are you from? I mean, it's Pi is the counselor friendly
It's
AI.
interactive.
It's more
It's
interactive.
more interactive.
And so it asked me, where are you from? And I said, I'm from Texas. And it immediately came back with big hair, boots, and barbecue.
I don't have any hair. I don't own any boots. But I do like barbecue.
We like barbecue, but we get tired of it occasionally.
Everybody does.
And like country music.
I don't like country music.
You don't like country music. I do like
that's
country
not true.
music.
I like country music, but I like older country music. That's what drives people crazy,
Yes.
right? I listen to Charlie Pride and all that, the older stuff. So
But
I actually like country music.
It automatically thought it knew what I wanted it to say.
Correct.
And it wasn't.
And that's what this is
true.
about. Fine tuning even worse than it already does.
Yes. So let's talk about something else in entertainment. And to me, this is going to be the biggest one.
It is a big one.
Gaming. Gaming is entertainment, not for necessarily people our age, even though I do know a lot of people, older people, that do play games. I've been very, very surprised.
Well, you used to play with the kids all the time.
Well,
you played the Wii. Come on, you liked the Wii.
I played games with the kids, with the kid in the room.
Yeah,
and even then, we didn't play that often.
Yeah, but you liked the guitar one.
Guitar Hero.
You liked that one.
What's called? I think that's what it's called. Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man. Yes, I played all those games, and I still kind of get obsessive with solitaire or whatever. But I'm not playing the games where I have somebody over on the other side of the continent, on the other side
Discord,
of the world.
Chatting through Discord.
I'm not on Discord. I'm not chatting. I'm not yelling at somebody. I'm not staying up until 4:00 in the morning because the other person.
Brand new game came out.
Right.
But
AI is helping that. One of the things that I thought was really interesting was real-time translations.
That's actually kind of a cool idea because when you think about it, I mean, I don't communicate with people through Discord, but I do communicate with people around the world.
Right.
And
there's a language barrier occasionally.
There is. I don't make fun of other people's ability to speak English. I don't, because their English is better than my whatever language they speak. So the fact that they can speak multiple languages should be embarrassing to me.
I'm impressed, yeah.
But sometimes the accent's hard to understand.
Yes.
So if AI can translate it and then the accent be less distinct because it's translating it, that's a beautiful thing.
But AI is not just translating it slowly.
You're talking
in real time.
I'm skeptical as to how well that's going to work because I have been playing with the translation stuff. The real-time thing is very tricky. I hear it a lot, but that's some serious computing horsepower to do that in real time. There's usually a delay.
The number 10 on this article about what it's doing in the gaming industry is that AI-driven language translation allows players from different regions to communicate and collaborate seamlessly, breaking down language barriers.
I think that's a great idea if they can get it to work in real time. But the human ear is embraced to write sound drivers for a living.
Yes.
And I talked to a sound engineer that was working with me on a project, and he said the human ear is amazingly tuned to find little glitches. So if there's a delay in the translation, that makes it just feel, your ear will pick it up. It'll kind of drive you crazy after a while.
Well, the other thing that AI is doing in gaming is it's doing decision making. And it's the algorithms are being used to create
NPCs,
lifelike characters.
First time I saw that was the NVIDIA announcement where they were showing, because there was a company using NVIDIA's tools, including their GPUs, because everyone is. But I think they're using their software tools as well. But anyway, the NPCs, I think that's cool. I mean, you've got a non-player character and they interact with you and you can't tell if it's a human or not. That's cool.
The best thing I've seen, the best example I've seen of this is we were talking about it the other day. It was Jumanji with The Rock.
Yeah, I had that guy
the first one,
driving the Jeep.
The one who, Nigel. And you didn't realize that Nigel wasn't human until he repeated the same answer.
He had a script that was
written. And no matter what you said to him, he would say one of the things that he was already programmed to say.
Yes.
Well, if you put AI into that,
it becomes hard to tell if he's not a human. It becomes
hard to tell because then he can respond differently with anything you ask.
That's actually the first time I ever really thought about what NPC meant. It was when we saw that movie, which is kind of, obviously the kids have known about it forever, But I didn't really think about it until Nigel made it real. When I
Mm-hmm.
saw it, and I was thinking, okay, I can see where that would be.
And it's
A
aggravating if you're
similar
playing the
thing was
game.
in iRobot with Will Smith. I think was that iRobot? Yeah,
Yeah.
where he remember had the little holographic image of his former the guy that had been killed at the very
Yes.
beginning,
Yes.
and he kept saying, "You're not asking the right question." Now that was kind of for dramatic effect because he was trying to lead him to ask the right question.
Right.
But if he would have had a true AI
AI.
based, in the movie that was all about AI, you think he kind of would have. So maybe he didn't want to, but anytime you have that kind of ability to have it feel well, take pie, which is your boots and barbecue thing, take pie and make pie control one of those
NPCs.
NPCs. It's a cool
Yes.
idea.
The other thing they're saying with AI in video games is that it's going to be able to enhance visual aspects.
Well, we're
So
seeing that
we're
already.
seeing it. I mean, the
Some of the
actual background images and the realism of the
you've
image
already
that you're
done
seeing on the screen.
some of the stuff you've done in Midjourney is
Do you know what's so sad
freakishly
is
good.
like I'm not going to say what this article is because then I'm being really mean, but I look at some of the images that I'm seeing on the articles, like the
Yeah.
cover images of some of the articles about
Mhm.
AI, and I'm like, oh, come on, it could do better than that. You're not
Yeah.
prompting it right because some of the images are very
Well,
rudimentary. It's
funny you
like
mentioned that, but this particular article was probably written by an AI.
precise.
It's too organized.
Yes.
It's like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This was probably AI generated.
I see that now that you mention it. It has like the one and it's bolded. It gives you the
Yeah, it
introduction.
looks
It gives you the
like
top
something that
three.
ChatGPT would put out.
It does
And
definitely look like that.
the verbiage they use is
Yes.
very generic.
Yes.
I mean, they're literally listing like the top 10 things how it's going to change the gaming industry.
Enhanced graphics, personalized gaming experiences.
If you ask ChatGPT, it probably generates something very similar to this.
Probably did. Something that the AI said it can do that apparently since this is generated by an AI is it can give you analytics about if a movie is going to be successful or not.
And maybe. I mean, again, these algorithms, people are using the AI for just about everything now. I mean, the machine learning algorithms that have been predicting that have been pretty good for a long time. So,
yeah.
Anyway, what else do we have?
We also have, this is basically the same thing. And again,
two different articles. See the
looking-
difference that one of them's got 1, 2, 3, 4, and one of them doesn't?
Well, okay. So the first article we just glanced at that had the 1, 2, 3, 4, that was probably written by ChatGPT 3.5.
And this is
versus
4.0.
This one is written by 4.0 because
be.
the actual article looks like it's laid out
A little better.
a little nicer,
A little better formatting,
better picture, all other good stuff. Yeah. So we think that those are probably written by an AI.
It's true.
So the last thing that we are going to talk about, if I can go back here, you probably hear my dog in the background getting ready to wanting to come back inside. What else do we have to talk about? Algorithms, media consumption.
I mean, the big news was the writer's strike. I mean,
yeah. So what are they going to do about that?
The thing that worries me about these, it's like Drew Barrymore was getting all that hard time about the fact that she was going to go back to work. I don't know Drew Barrymore. Maybe she is, maybe her motivations weren't pure, but you have to think, because she seems like a nice person. And you have to think that she's with those people that work with her every single day.
And there's more to...
And they're not getting a paycheck.
There's more to it than the writers.
Yeah, they're not getting a paycheck. So she might have legitimately been worried that, hey, these people are going to starve. But then again, strikes lose their effectiveness if people... That's why they were calling her a scab, which is...
Not very nice.
Not very nice. I like Drew Barrymore. But anyway, it's one of those things where you'd be kind of torn. I mean, the only thing she could do, she's very rich. I mean, she could pay some of those salaries, but I'm not sure even she's rich enough to pay them
that many
for that many people that long.
Maybe
she could. I don't know. Used to the unions, you got like a small paycheck out of the union dues you've been paying in whenever you were on strike. I don't know if they still do that. I don't know if the Writers Guild does it at all. But did you see who the head of the writer of the whole Screen Actors Guild is?
No.
Remember Fran Fine?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what's her name in real life?
I do not know.
I can't remember.
But I know who you're talking about.
Anyway, I think she just got reelected to the head of the Screen. I can't imagine her because we used to watch that show.
I promise she doesn't talk that way all the time.
No, because we've heard parts of that show where she didn't.
But do you think that the government's going to, do you think who's going to get involved to solve this?
No one. The White House is going to send people when the United Auto Workers Union starts going on strike. That affects the economy so dramatically, like all the shipping shuts down or whatever, or car manufacturing. They send people, and they may have sent somebody for the Screen Actors Guild, but people don't tend to be as sympathetic. They forget that just because you think that actors and actresses are rich, they're not all rich.
Right.
And the writers and the people that are on the little guys that are on strike right now, they can lose their houses, their cars. The grocery store doesn't take IOUs, and they still got to buy food. But I don't see the people that they're trying to negotiate with, the big production companies and stuff, the Disneys. I don't see them. I don't think they want to negotiate. I don't think they care.
No, they
I mean, they were already closing down. As I said, they were shelving all this stuff to take the big write-offs. They could be just seeing this as a way of taking some write-offs. So we delay some movies coming out, or we cancel some shows we wanted to cancel anyway. Now they have an excuse. So I don't know if they're going to come. I don't know if they've even been to the table at all. I mean, they may. There was a guy recently, one of these rich guys that's real sensitive for the little guy, who said that they need to let these strikers, all these different strikes, and then let them starve. People need to
be hungry.
We need to have 50% unemployment, so people will appreciate it when they get a job. Typical billionaire type, that says stuff like that. But maybe that's how these big companies feel that are doing these movies. They just don't care. They're going to keep. Netflix has still got shows to show, and Disney's still got shows to show. They've all got a catalog of stuff. They can show reruns of Gunsmoke or whatever it is that they've got, and until they basically get them back to the table to give in. I hope they don't give in on that. I love AI. I do AI stuff every day. I use it every single day. But there are places where people need to be protected from it, and this is one of those. You should not be required to give them your likeness. Like you said, you should not come work a half a day Monday, get paid minimum wage for half a day's work, and then use you for the rest of the movie. That's just wrong.
And let's think about if they have your likeness and you say that you can use my likeness, then
they can put you in a porn movie if they want to.
How are they going to use it?
Yeah, exactly. The next movie might be a little risque, and you might be one of the extras in some scenes you would have never signed up to do, right?
Right.
And what happens when the person, it's against their religion to be in a certain type of movie, they feel like it's immoral, and suddenly they pop into one because they did something 20 years ago when they were young and they got scanned into the AI. That kind of stuff is wrong. I mean, there does need to be some guardrails. All these rich people testifying before Congress talking about guardrails is kind of, to me, insincere because they're the ones pushing it so hard. But I do agree with the sentiment. You cannot just let it go unchecked. You just can't.
I wonder what they're doing over in Europe.
I don't know. I don't know that. There's a lot of discussions over there about the creative people and them getting compensated. Adobe just came out with a thing recently where they're going to pay people, if your artwork is used to train an AI, then you get a residual.
So it's like a passive income.
It was some form of income. So maybe some people are trying to work out the problem. It's just these big studios that have the millions. These guys are sitting there sipping their cocktails and watching the world burn. They don't care. At least that's not that I have a strong opinion about this.
Well, that's why we do a podcast, so that we can share opinions. So anyway, that is it for this evening. We appreciate you listening about entertainment. Next week, we're going to talk a little bit about the environment. I actually had somebody ask me the other day what I thought AI was going to be doing to our environment.
Yes.
Like our environment as in
directly
affecting that, air we breathe, water we drink.
Okay, don't give away everything. We'll do it next week.
That's what we'll talk about next week.
Okay.
Thank you so much for listening, and we hope that you guys check back in next week for AI in Action. And that brings us to the end of AI in Action, exploring tomorrow's tech today. We're Maurie and Jim, your guides on this exciting journey through the world of artificial intelligence. We hope today's conversation has left you with fresh insights and a deeper understanding of how AI is shaping our future. If you enjoyed our discussion and want to stay up to date with the latest in AI, make sure to subscribe, and share the podcast with your friends and colleagues. Remember, the future is not something that just happens to us. It's something we can actively shape and influence with knowledge and action. So let's continue exploring, innovating, and taking action. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to sharing more exciting AI developments with you next time on AI in Action, Exploring Tomorrow's Tech Today.